you are to find out what is the cause of my condition. The great physician orders these diagnostic tests to find out what the source of the weakness is. Somebody say, what's the source?
What's the source?
It turns out that the patient has chronic anemia, low blood iron, low strength in the blood, which causes it to pump insufficiently. It is so low that it impacts how the blood pumps to her heart. Due to this anemia, the heart can go into cardiac arrest. The condition is serious enough that the patient needs could warrant a blood transfusion. But in order to get a blood transfusion, you would have to find a perfect blood match. A blood donor. Somebody say donor.
Donor.
So the doctor runs tests to see what blood type this patient is. Their blood type is type AB. And AB stands for the sake of this sermon, is always believing, which is a universal recipient. People that got type AB blood are universal recipients. They can receive blood from A or B or O. Glory be to God. I got some medical people in here. Somebody say praise the Lord. So this most likely closely relates to John 3:16, that God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever receive or whosoever believe in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. Being an AB type is a person that says, I will always believe God despite the current condition that I'm in. And that makes you a universal recipient. Somebody say praise the Lord. So this physician knows the individual's blood type, and he also knows his blood type. His blood type is O. Somebody say O. O stands for opportunity. Somebody say opportunity. The Bible says in John, the 1st chapter, it says he came to his own, but anyone. But as many as receive him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God. So the opportunity is that you have a universal blood donor by the name of Dr. Jesus, who says all you have to do is have AB type, always believe it. And then you have an opportunity to receive your healing right here in this sanctuary today. Do I got any AB types that's looking for universal donor? Somebody say opportunity. So he is this universal donor. He donates his blood to this patient through a blood transfusion. A blood transfusion is when someone has, the universal donor gives or donates their blood for the strength and the use in another person's body to save their life. Day after day, Jesus offers us the same opportunity. Will we accept our cure from our condition today? Will we be type AB, always believing God, irregardless to how fatigued we are, irregardless to how weak we feel? Let me give you a little bit more of a personal insight. Last year, this exact time, I went to the hospital for what I thought was an allergic reaction. And I went into the emergency room because I had broken out. I had eczema, so sometimes I get flare-ups. So I was looking for maybe a quick prescription because it was during a time where my doctor was not open. So I just wanted a prescription to manage either my allergic reaction or my eczema. But when I got there, they says, how do you feel? I'm like, I'm just tired a lot and I don't know. So let's just run some blood tests. Let's run some blood tests. And when they ran some blood tests on me, they says, you're anemic. I said, well, I knew that. I've always been anemic. And they says, no, you're significantly anemic. I'm like, okay. What does that mean? They said my blood levels were so low that if I had not come to the emergency room, I would have needed a transfusion. So I said, wait, what? I just came here to get a quick remedy, a quick fix for my eczema or my allergies. I ain't got time for this. But God knew I was tired. He knew that I needed strength. So he sent me to the place where I could get the healing that I need. So I did not require because I definitely fought. No, not having a blood transfusion, not doing it. And instead of giving me the transfusion, they gave me iron infusions. However, I still had to stay in the hospital for 4 days. So let me tell you something, as you walk with God, sometimes you are faced with situations that make you chronically fatigued. Yeah. And you go to Dr. Jesus for what you think is a symptom, but God says, no, there's something deeper that's going on with you. There's something more deeper than what you see that is on the surface. Yeah. And God says, I have transformed this sanctuary today for God to get to the deep stuff. Somebody say deep stuff. God says, I ain't dealing with no surface issues today. I'm not dealing with you just basically feeling a little bit discouraged. I'm not dealing with you just basically feeling a little bit like, you know, God, my faith is a little shaken. God says, today, I'm getting to the meat of the matter. There's a condition that you're suffering from, and it goes deep down in your condition. And if you don't address the matter, it's going to cause your heart to go into attack. And it's going to cause you to give up on God and on your faith and on your family and on your friends and on your loved ones. God says, I'm here to deal with the deep stuff. Somebody said the deep stuff. God says all you have to do is be open. Be always believing that even though I can't see my way out, I know that God is the universal donor. He is the one that can heal, deliver, and set free. Somebody say the cure. So I stayed in the hospital for 4 days last year, and I thought that episode that was over. I got sick a couple weeks later, and I ended up back in the hospital. I think we were trading rooms places. She was in the hospital, and I was in the hospital. It was just something. It was like a mess. But I thank God, because through that experience, I realized that sometimes you see things in your life, and you'll keep going on, and you keep going on. And God will cause a breakdown to happen so that you can address the real matters. Had I never had the breakout over a small allergic reaction, so I thought, I would have never known the condition of my blood. I would have never known the condition of my heart. Could you imagine at 41 years old having a heart attack? Could you imagine needing a blood transfusion at 41 years old? But I thank God that He allows us to go through breakdown, so the little symptoms that we feel, God can do the operation, the transfusion, and the things that we need. So don't be mad at your breakdown. God is just saying it is time for you to see Dr. Jesus. Somebody say Dr. Jesus. Every year, the United States spends $100 billion in cancer research, according to USA News Today. Every year, the United States spends $740 billion to treat addictions, according to drugabuse.gov. Every year, the United States spends $1 trillion on incarceration, according to Justice Statistics. So we got $100 billion, $740 billion, $1 trillion on things to cure all of these social ills. But y'all think that people are stopped getting cancer? Do you think that people are stopped struggling with addictions? Do you think that people are stopped being incarcerated? No. The ill and the sickness is still there. It's because they have not tapped into what really cures all of these sicknesses, all of these diseases, all of these problems, all of these issues of society is all healed by the power of God. Somebody say, thank you, Dr. Jesus.
Thank you, Dr. Jesus.
Although, amen, praise God. Although all of this money is spent, we are no closer to finding a cure for cancer, drug addiction, incarceration. Add yours in it, put your situation in it, add it to the list. We're not even more closer, because people have failed to realize what it takes to receive their healing. Somebody say, praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
First, in order to find a cure, we have to know these three things. Somebody say 3 things. We have to know the diagnosis, the prognosis, and the prescription. Y'all say it like y'all hear me, y'all with me today. Say the diagnosis, the prognosis, and the prescription. The diagnosis means what is the disease? What is the illness? What is the sickness? What is the problem? Look across to your neighbor. Say, neighbor, what's your diagnosis? Look behind you. Get real. Have some audacity about yourself and say, neighbor, now what's your diagnosis? The next part of your curing or your healing is the prognosis. Somebody say prognosis. Prognosis means what condition your diagnosis is in. Whether you're stable, serious, or terminal. Now, a prognosis, it answers the question, can I die from this? I want you to think about your own diagnosis. Can I physically die? Can I spiritually die? Can I relationally die? Can I die from this? I want you to think in your mind some of the issues and the problems of your heart, the things that constantly continue to come up, and I want you to have some audacity about yourself and say, can I die from this? I want you to stand on your feet and mean what you say and think about the trials and the different things you've been through in your spirit, your life, your finances, your relationship, your faith with God, and say with audacity, can I die from this? Can I die from this? Can I die from this? Diagnosis, we did prognosis, and now we have the prescription. The prescription is what can be used to cure it. Somebody cure it. Somebody say cure it. Cure. When you talk about writing prescriptions, or what the prescription is cure, there's different type of prescriptions you can get. There are prescriptions that suppress the symptoms, and there's prescriptions that actually deal with the actual problem. Mostly growing up, I never really liked to take like aspirin or Advil or anything unless I really had to. I didn't know this at the time, but they do say that your body, if you allow it to run its course, whatever the sickness or it is or virus, that's why they don't like to give you antibiotics for viruses, because they want your body to build up antibodies so that when it comes again or if it comes back around, your body can naturally fight it. Yeah. But if we always constantly look for suppressors like aspirin, and those are things that just dulls the pain, but never really address the issue. Yeah. God is saying for us today that we've been doing a lot of things to suppress the pain. We've been going to the wrong doctor asking for prescriptions. We've been going to the wrong doctor and saying, I had pain, I had issues, I have a void, I have a hole in my heart, but God, I don't want the surgery. Instead, give me an Advil. What I look like is a cardiac patient. Going and asking for a Tylenol. God says you asking for a Tylenol when you need open heart surgery. You're asking for a migraine medication when there's a more deeper issue as to why you have the dilemmas and the calamity that you're facing. God said, somebody say, an aspirin ain't gonna fix it. So when we think about all of these coping strategies and mechanisms that we build on ourselves, they're only suppressors. Your body, when you have a fever, you need to feel down, you need to feel sick. It signals that something is wrong. Yeah. You need to have a headache, you need to feel these pain, because otherwise you wouldn't know what was going on in your body. God sent me here to tell you, sometimes we are so angry with pain. We are so angry when we feel things that don't feel good. But God says if you never felt them, you would never know that there is something wrong, and it has to be addressed. And if you don't ever address it, eventually you can die from this. Yeah, somebody said sin is a silent killer. Some things that it just, if you never address it, if you never deal with it, one day, you ever hear those tragic situations where somebody like, wow, they died in their sleep but they was young. What happened to them? And if they ever did an autopsy, they were like, wow, this person had a heart condition from a child. This person had high blood pressure. They had diabetes. Never addressed, never issued. They never went to the doctor. Jesus said, you got all of these issues, all of these problems, all of these diseases, all of this sickness, and you never go to the doctor. And you've been trying to self-medicate it, and you've been trying to deal with it on your own. And God said, if you I told y'all my story. I was diagnosed with anemia. I thought it was no big deal. I took my iron pills or I don't or whatever. But I realized there's an urgency there. And if I continue to do the same thing and never address the issue, y'all would have been at my funeral. 41 years old. What happened to the pastor? What happened to the first lady of that church? She died at 41. I didn't even know she was sick. What happened? She had a heart condition brought about over a small thing as little iron. Something that could have been dealt with a little green pill. And we didn't even address it. God says, you have issues that have gone and become so big. It's like a cancer. But you could have dealt with this with one little pill, one little prescription. Acceptance that God loves you, that His grace is sufficient. Acceptance that you are a sinner and nothing you can do to ever earn His grace. He just gives it to you free. It's free. It's free. God says, I got a 24-hour free clinic. And you walk past every day and say, I don't got no insurance, so I don't go to the doctor. But God says, I'm a Henry J. Austin. I am a free clinic 24 hours a day. All you gotta do is walk to Jesus. No matter what, you don't have to relegate it to a Sunday morning, a Wednesday night, a Monday night prayer. You can go in your secret closet when you're at home. You can talk to Jesus. You can tell him all that. And God's grace, His grace will heal you right where you are. Somebody said He's open 24 hours. 24 hours. So today we're going to talk about the relevance to this story. The world is sick. You know, we use a colloquialism in the world like, oh, that's a sick person. This is a sick world. And that talks about the condition and the state we are in. We are further away from our love for God than we've ever been before. Many of you guys know I went overseas in May to do a missions trip. And when I saw the worship, when I saw the praise, when I saw the hunger of people in South America, I said, we are God's spoiled little children. He gives us so much access to everything. People live in different conditions as us, and they get up. Let me tell you, I was at this church. I was there for 10 days. I must have went to like 20 services. I promise you, I'm not even exaggerating. But every weekend, somebody said every weekend. Every weekend they start their weekend on Saturday night. They go to church at 5 o'clock on Saturday night. Then they come, they have church, they pray for 2 hours, and they start it all over again at 7 o'clock on Saturday night. Then they wake up Sunday morning, they have a 9 o'clock service. Then they come back at 11 o'clock. Then they go and do a outdoor mission, and then they come back at 5 o'clock on Sunday. And they do it every weekend. It's not a special event. It's not just something, oh, we're just going to have some entertainers. We're going to have some people to, make Jesus look good. God says, don't you know what I've done for you? I'm your physician. You were sick in your sins. You was going to die from this, but it was me that came and changed your life for the better, for the good. How dare you have the audacity to put me on time restrictions? How dare you have the audacity to not give me praise in the midst of your calamity? I am the healer. I am the one that healeth thee. Glory to God. Somebody says I could die from this. So my experience, it opened my eyes to what it means to be a Christian. That God is not an ATM. That we just walk up to God when we need things. And we just say, God, I need money, I need a car, I need a relationship, I need happiness, I need this. God said, wait. There's a finished work of the cross that happened thousands of years ago. The one thing that I did for humanity is paid it all. I don't owe you anything. All you gotta do is accept what I already done. And when you accept what I already done, then you will understand all of these little accoutrements to this current life. It means nothing. Because there was already a finished work of Christ. I did it. Somebody said, He did it already. He did it already. And we spend most of our prayer time. Some of us pray for 5 minutes. Some of us pray for 5 hours. But we spend much of that talking about, I need this, I need that. God, heal this. Well, that God says, there's a finished work I already did. I did that about a couple thousand years ago. All you got to do is always believe and accept Him. And that's your opportunity to open yourself up to God's grace, to His salvation, to His undying love for us. How could you have somebody die for you? And then you have a nerve to get mad at him. Now, this fast tracks the story. So we're in the book of Numbers, right?
Yeah.
So, the people of God were brought out of bondage. You know, the children of Israel, they were in slavery. Slavery to Egypt. They were slaves. Working hard every day for free. And God sent them a deliverer. They said, God, deliver us, please, deliver us. So God sends them a deliverer. So He didn't raise up a deliverer who was perfect or somebody that wasn't even like them that could relate. Moses was genetically connected. He was related to them. And He says, okay, I preserved Moses for this time and I'm going to send you a deliverer. So He uses Moses. He has these battles with Pharaoh, back and forth. Let my people go. Let my people go. And God is hardening Pharaoh's heart. He's doing it. He's making Pharaoh hard. Because God is testing Moses' resistance. Because He said, if I'm going to have you to lead millions of people, if I'm going to have you to reach millions of people, you've got to deal with some adversity. I can tell you a word, Moses. What I'm going to do, I'm going to deliver God's people, but I'm going to make you face opposition. It's like we give our life to God, and He gives us a promise and say that we're going to be great witnesses, and we're going to lead millions of people, thousands of people, hundreds of people, maybe just be 2 people. I don't know what you call it, but we're afraid of opposition. And the irony of the story is God hardens Pharaoh's heart. I just like almost fell out of my bed when I was just reiterating the story. Like, God, you did that. You hardened Pharaoh's heart. Even though you told Moses to go to him. What the world? Somebody look into there and say, what the world? So, He hardens Pharaoh's heart. So He's testing the endurance of Moses. Because imagine, first of all, we can't even lead our children. We have 1, 2, 3, or our nieces and nephews, grandchildren, whatever. But millions of people. God says, God's going to use me to do great things. But one thing break out of your life, you leave Him. You leave God, you walk right out the door. I don't have to take this mess. And the people of God was just like that. It's so funny in the book of Numbers. The scripture talks about, they began to talk about God and talk about Moses. Yeah. And wait, let me just read it. Let me tell you what. Excuse me. Oh, God. Let me tell you. I mean, this is funny. I want to go back and read it. Where did she go? Somebody put it back up for me so I can read it. Because you got to see it. You have to see it. Just slide it. Just tap it. No, just space bar. All right, there you go. So, wait. They spoke against God and against Moses, the point man for God. And they said, why did you bring us out of Egypt? They asked God, why did you take me out of slavery? Why did you deliver me in the first place? I like being in bondage. I like being a slave. I changed my mind. I don't want to do this no more. As Christians, when we face opposition, we say, I like being in sin. I don't want to do this no more, God. Even though I know you can heal me, I want to be sick. I want to have pneumonia. I want to have cancer. I want to have disease. I don't want no healing, God. I don't want that. So they said, why did you bring me out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? Okay, God, maybe you healed me or you brought me out, but now I'm sick again. There is no bread. First of all, they lie. They're liars. Because God caused manna to come from heaven. He fed them. So even though God was providing for them, they were still complaining. They said, well, when I was in bondage, we was eating certain type of food. And even though they was oppressing us, at least I could have caviar. At least I could have this special type of meal. And God said, what? I'm creating miracles. You're seeing things that come from heaven that I provided directly for your nourishment. And you're going to compare me to red lobster? How dare you be audacity? I'm creating miracles in your life. And you remember right now how y'all used to hang out, how they used to be your girl, your homie. And God says, what? You was crazy. You know you was crazy. You know you was jacked up. And then you said your mind, your said, there's no bread and there's no water. He lied again. He was causing water to come out of rocks against wild people. And we detest this miserable food. Yikes. They're saying to God, I detest your miracles in my life. These are the Christians that say, I wish you never saved me. I wish you never, ever chose me. God says, wait, what? I'm the God of the universe. And I decide to pick you out for you to be an example. And not just to be an example, to have everlasting life after this. And you haven't learned to detest the miracles. The miracles. The miracles that God has done in your life. Well, you know, at least if when I was stressed, when I was in the world, I could smoke some weed and I could just like mellow out. God, I don't like your miracle of prayer that is as a coping strategy. I think I might want to try my own. So every time we tell God, in the areas of our life where He healed us, and He's still providing, He's still providing. Every time we complain, we're saying, God, I'd rather have sin than salvation. I'd rather have sickness than healing. I'd rather have the world than eternal life. So we need to consider that. Somebody say consider that. They call God miracle food, miserable food. The nerve. Somebody say the nerve. Then the next scripture says the Lord sent venomous snakes. Here you go again. God says, okay. I was testing Moses in the beginning. So I hardened Pharaoh's heart because he needed to have a certain resilience to deal with so many people. And then God says, okay, you complaining again. The children of Israel first, they started by just complaining about Moses, about the leader that God had chosen. But then it says, you know what? I'm going to go way over to the other side. They was doing way too much. And they said, I'm not just going to blame the leader. I'm going to blame God altogether. Have we ever been in a sick situation or a condition in our lives where we start, first of all, we'll blame the church, we'll blame our families, we'll blame our parents, and then when you get deep down, you start blaming God. Somebody said, ooh, you better not do that. Y'all ain't saying it like you mean it. So then God, because they complained, God sent venomous snakes among them to bite the people. When we complain about our miracles, God is going to cause a snake to get out and bite you. When we complain about the mercy and the grace He has brought in our lives, God will cause a venom to come out and bite you. And it'll cause you to be so sick. It'll cause, let me tell you, if you're bitten by a poisonous snake, what's going to happen? You're going to die. God says if you want death, because that's what sin is. Sin is death. Sin is death. The Bible says once lust is conceived, this brings forth sin. And when sin is finished, when it's done its dirty deed in you, ain't nothing else to do but to die. When Adam and Eve was in the garden, he had a great relationship with God. It's like, you know what, God, this is what I want, this is what I want. God said, you don't have to work for nothing. Here you go. Apples, oranges, pears, peaches, pomegranates, whatever, you got it. Just this one thing. Don't worry about that. Don't eat it. It's like, you provided everything for me. You healed me. You know, everything is awesome. It's amazing, but I want the one thing. Isn't that just like us? I want the one thing. You have everything, but I just want the one. Anybody that got kids understand it. It's like you can give them everything. And it's like the one thing you say no to, they be like, that's what they want. Like, what is wrong with us? As children of God, God says, I gave you everything. The one thing I'm just telling you can't have is sin. But that's what you want. Somebody say, not me. Say, not me. Not me. Amen, God, Jesus, my healer. Anyway, so He caused these vipers to come. Amen, in the midst of them. And to bite them. And some of them died. When we complain about God in our wilderness journey, our wilderness situation, some of us may die. This might kill you. So that's why you got to make sure that you remind yourself of how good God is and what He's done for you already. I don't care what state you're in. You gotta always constantly remember that it was God that brought you to this place. Some of us forget. Somebody say, not me. I'm not gonna forget. I won't forget. What blows my mind is how could they forget the Red Sea? First of all, it's a massive body of water. And even though God had hardened Pharaoh's heart, God eventually caused all of these pestilence, the 10 plagues to happen, and He let them go. And even the enemy took upon his own self, it's like, I'm going to go after them. So the enemy went after y'all. He's been after all of us. And God parted the sea in your life. And he says, although the enemy is on your trail, I'm going to cause them to drown in situations that I'm going to let you walk on dry land. We got to remember the things that should have caused us, the things that didn't bite us in our own sin, the venom that could have killed us. God said that's the thing that you could have died in. You could have really had it all done, open casket, your funeral procession, everything could have been. I could have been preaching your funeral today. But God says the thing that was meant to kill you, I cause it to be swallowed up and you to walk on dry land. Somebody say Jesus is my healer. So the irony of this is what you gotta catch from the text. Some of them died in that process. The people came to Moses and they said, we sinned. They acknowledged, man, you know what? I messed up. We was talking in a leadership class today. You gotta know when you messed up.
Amen.
You gotta know from where you fallen. You gotta confess your faults one to another and pray one for another that you may be healed. It ain't no time to be acting like you don't know what happened because you know what happened. Stop acting like you don't know where the breakdown came from. You know where it came from. You know your attributes, your complaints. You know your sin. You know your issue. You know your sickness. You know your disease, and you know the origin of it. Somebody say Jesus is a healer. So they confessed, we messed up. Yo, we messed up.
Yes.
So have mercy on us. So the man of God, the person of God that God was using, the point person at the time, Moses, he prayed for the people. And then God gave him a directive. He says, Moses and 8, make a snake and put it on a pole. Remember I showed you the universal sign for medicine? God, every time I do research, I'm like, God, you just keep blowing my mind. He's just like so awesome. So God tells Moses to use the thing that bit them and put it on a pole, and they're going to look at the thing that bit them, and they're going to be healed by the thing that bit them. Now think about it. Y'all should have shouted. Y'all missed it. Y'all totally missed it. He sent vipers, snakes, just like in the garden. It was the snake that deceived Adam and Eve. But God cursed the snake and says that the heel of the woman is going to bruise your head. So when the devil thought he had you, when he thought you was going to die in your sin, God says, I'm going to use the same thing you did. And I'm going to cause the people that you beguiled, like Adam and Eve, I'm going to use the seed of a woman to destroy you. And out of the book of Numbers, he calls vipers to bite them. But then he says, I'm going to use the same thing that tried to destroy you. I'm going to cause you to put it on a rod, look at it and face it, and be healed. When you look, you shall live. Somebody say, look, and you shall live. Look, and you shall live. You do. Y'all ain't get this, because I feel this all in my bones. I feel this from the crown of my head to the soul. I feel this healing. God will use. He will use the very thing that tried to trip you up. Your addiction, your disease, your sickness, your mental illness, your disposition, your family problems, your family tree. He will use those things that try to kill you, that try to trip you up, to give you the healing that you need. And once he gives you the healing that you need, it's going to stand on a pedestal so the world can see it. This is the thing that tried to kill me, but I'm still here. This is the thing that tried to destroy me, but I'm still here. I stand on the word of God. That my nakedness, my sickness, my illness, my disease, it is no match for God. So no matter what I'm facing, God will take that Your issues and your disease, put it under your feet. Somebody say, put it under my feet. Come on, I'm telling you, this is a demonstration of the power of God. I want you to talk about if you have mental illness, and you're struggling with depression, anxiety, and fear. If you have problems in your marriage, if you have problems in your relationships, if you have problems with jealousy and envy, if you have problems with your finances, if you have sickness in your body, physical, if you had a stroke, if you had a heart attack, if you had marital problems, parent problems, children problems, no matter what it is, I want you to when you see it, I want you to see it in form of a snake. I want you to see it just slithering all through your life from generation after generation. Maybe it's a generational curse. Maybe it's an issue that you brought to the table. No matter what it is, I want you to see it slithering on the ground. I want you to see it up and down in your life, trying to make you afraid. One of the greatest fears that we have in our society is the fear of sex. People are afraid of sex because of the power of their venom. That you can get bit by one if you don't get to emergency services soon enough. That you will die. Not you can die, you will die. But God says, I got the antidote. I'm going to use that same thing. See, the devil thought he was so smart. He thought if he deceived Eve in the garden, that it would be over for humanity. He says, no, you just pushed it more closer to my original destination. He said, God said he knew that he was going to come through the seed of a woman. You know God could have came down here in a chariot of fire. You know God could have just said, boom, 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 beat that. But he says, you know what? The devil trying to trick up my most prized possession. The Bible says, what is man that you are mindful of them? God, why do you love mankind so much? They raggedy. They crazy. They jacked up. They sick. They got issues. But God says, I like it like that. I like being an ER physician. I like their problems. It gives me things to do in the earth. And God, the devil says, yeah, oh man, I got Eve eat the apple. She deceived her husband, he ate the apple. All these things, and they done. They done. I'm causing all this calamity. But God says, thank you, Satan. Because now, I'm going to wrap myself in the likeness of sinful flesh. And I'm going to come through the same seed you try to destroy. I'm going to come through the seed of a woman. The same thing you deceived from the beginning. Now, Jesus could have had a noble background, but guess what? He's related to a harlot. Y'all remember the harlot of Jericho who hid out the spies? You know God could have chose a better pedigree than that. You know he could have chose a pure Jew line. You know God could have chose a pure lineage, but he said, no. That's too easy. If I came down here on Easy Street, if I came down here through a bloodline that was never tainted, through a bloodline that was never pure, or never had issues with purity, then that's what people would say to God, you don't understand my issues, you don't understand my problems, you don't know what it's like. He says, alright, let me do this. Where's that harlot who had generations of family members doing prostitution? That's who I want to use. Right? I want to use her because she got a jacked up life. And when she hear about me and how I'm going to use her, she's going to be grateful. Some of the things we go through and some of the issues that we have is because then we'll realize that God, it's not me, I'm nothing, I'm nasty, I'm sick, I got problems, I got issues. But when he uses you, it shocks you. It's like, what? What? Anybody ever been used like that? No, you jacked up. You're like, what? I was a witness? What? You probably, I don't even know if the day came out like that. God says, I'm not looking for no perfect. My name is Perfect Patty Christian, and I never fornicated, I never used drugs, I never did any of those things. God says, okay, bye, where we going? Oh boy, you go, boy, bye. And God says, where's that person that's laying at the altar crying and said, oh, filthy man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of this sin? God said, oh, that's who I want to use. I want to use that person that know they're not worthy, that knows that is a hand for the goodness of God. Where would I be? God is looking for you, because you got issues. right here. Because I won't go to the background of numbers, but that'll be next week. Somebody said it'll be next week. I need people in this church. We've been transformed. I don't know about you. This is the hospital and the great physician. He's standing right here. This is the altar. He says, next in line. Y'all know how when y'all go to the emergency room, you hate waiting. It's always so long. But God says, guess what? Instead of going to the emergency room, I'm going to turn this into a 24-hour clinic. That means that the lines are going to actually a mini clinic, maybe, or maybe even those specialty places that they have now. He says, so you don't have to wait for a long time. You don't have to wait till you go home from the service today. Okay, then I'm going to tell Raheem he got to go. Then I'm going to throw all of my drugs out. I'm going to stop drinking. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. God said, no. The door is open. The opportunity, the offer is on the table. Somebody says it's on the table. You split wide open right now. You wide open. You can do one of two things. You can leave out of this operating room against doctor's advice. And you can say, well, I'm trying to figure it out. I still got some more work to do. Or you can get your number, get your butt to this altar, and you can say, God, use that thing that tried to kill me. Use that thing that tried to destroy me. Use that thing that tried to take me out of here. And God says, the altar is open for your opportunity. Come on, be an A-B blood type. Be somebody that's always believing. Oh, and God is a type O blood type. This is your opportunity. He's the universal donor. He is your cure. It's not going to come from within. You ain't that special anyway. He just loves you anyway. That's why I love God's grace. God says he's not a respecter of persons. He don't say, oh, she's better than her. He's better than him. God says, no, anybody that's available, I don't care. Rahab was available. Rahab, you know what she said during that time? She said to the spies, she said, I heard about you, God. I heard what he did to Pharaoh and his army. I heard about how he opened up the Red Sea. God is trying to tell you that your miracle, you look at it as mixed meat, but people are looking at it as a miracle. You say, well, God only did this little thing for me. God says, what? Excuse me? God says the miracles that he placed in your life, other people can see it, but you can't. Use that opportunity, use that miracle, use that crisis, use that emergency room to tell God, you are the cure. Now for the people that is at this altar, if you're not at the altar, I guess you cured. I guess you healed. I guess you don't have any, it's just me, the pastor of the church, I got all the problems.